Welcome back to the channel, everyone. Today I'm going to be doing a first impressions video on the sheep by Zero Strategy Games. I want to thank Zero Strategy Games for sending me this prototype. Again, this is a first impressions video, so this is a prototype copy. The final copy is going to look much different. So again, everything is not final here. So what is the sheep? This is a 2 to 4 player cooperative horror game where you're playing as a shepherd or shepherds trying to escort caravans to the next town. But you have these killer sheep in the way that are going to attack you and the caravans. Now, you're trying to escort these caravans by any means necessary, whether that means getting cursed yourself or sacrificing yourself. As long as all of these caravans make it to the other town, you are going to win. So let me show you how this game works, and then I'm going to give you my initial impressions on it. So as you can see right here, we have the starting location. I'm setting up as if this was a 4-player game. Again, we only have one character here on the board, and we have the one character player board right here. So since it's 4 players, we're going to have 5 caravans, and they are all have special abilities here. And of course, their health will be tracked right here. So these are the ones that were chosen at the beginning of the game. Now, normally these caravans are also all going to have equipment cards on them as well, depending on player count. But for spatial reasons, I'm just showing you how they are going to look. Okay, so in this game, like I said before, you are trying to escort these caravans to the next town over. And you got these 3 different type of sheep here. You have the lesser sheep, you have the regular sheep, and then of course you have the greater sheep. These are the more dangerous ones. Now, during the day, these are going to be harmless, but at night they are going to mutate into a different type of sheep and with all special abilities. So let me take you through a round. Now, it's going to start with the day phase. You're going to refresh all your equipment, your curses, traits, lanterns, and so forth. As you can see right here, we have lanterns. These are going to be crucial during the game. So, first thing you're going to do is draw from this day card. You're going to draw the card, and you're going to follow what it says right here. So sometimes it could tell sometimes if a sheep will move in a different direction, but it's also going to show you which direction the caravans are going to move along this line here. Now, after that, you're going to perform the caravan actions. As you can see here, all these caravans have special abilities. So the Rail Workers Guild can move any 2 sheep on this caravan space to a space on the path behind it. So if there's a caravan is in a space, it allows the sheep to move to a different location. Again, during the day phase, they cannot be attacked. Also, what you can do is any space you are in with the caravan, you could buy the equipments that it is carrying. Now, as of right now, I can only carry 3 equipment. As I upgrade, I could carry more. But there are more things that are going to happen in this game, like getting curses, which I will be going over in a little bit. Now, another thing you can do that's going to happen is a caravan is going to move. Now, for the first few rounds, they're only going to move here in town, and then they're going to progress little by little. So they're going to go up to 2 spaces, depending. Now, if they're being blocked by sheep, they cannot go. But depending on which direction the card tells you to go, the caravan is going to follow in that direction. So let's just say for sake we have it look like this, and now they're always going to be going on the trail. Okay, and then now on your turn, you're going to move up to 3 spaces, wherever you want. Again, you want to be close to these caravans to defend them from the sheep. And of course, you could use any of your card abilities and traits. Now, some of these cards here have special abilities at the bottom. These are weaknesses. So sometimes there's going to be a sheep or mutated sheep that's going to have a weakness. These are going to be very important during the game. Now, again, you can use your lantern charges here, so you can flip them over. We always start with 3, and you could use that to spend these essence, which we are going to start with. These are like curses that are contained inside the sheep, and you can use them to upgrade yourself right here. So anytime you spend and want to spend an essence to purify yourself, you're going to move this up and spend an essence to upgrade. And again, as you upgrade, we all start with 1 special ability. As you get to the second one, you can choose more, and of course it fills in the slot right here like this, and so which would allow, so like this one will -1 arsenal cost. So again, there are many other different traits that you can choose from as you upgrade. Over here, we're going to have the curses, and which again, I'm going to go over right in a bit. Now, the last thing that you can do is cull the sheep. So anytime there are sheep in your space, depending on what kind of sheep it is, you can cull them or kill them. Again, because you want to get rid of them, because when it becomes nighttime, they are going to get stronger and they are going to attack you and the caravans. So when nighttime comes, the first thing you're going to do is draw from the night deck right here. Okay, and what this also does is this is going to tell you where to go on this pollution track right here. So this is a 4-player game. We start with 4, and it tells you how many you have to move up on that track. And of course, everyone has to follow this event right here. So this is adding a greater sheep on a space, so on this space for each caravan within 3 passable spaces of it. So you always have to follow this event card. And of course, it tells you where you're going up on the pollution track. Now, the pollution track is pretty dangerous too. Now, since it starts at 4, it moved us up to 6. So what that means is we have to spend a total amount of 6 lanterns to clear the pollution in our area. If not, then we are going to have to draw one of these these little tiles here, and these are going to be bad. So this one has the caravan with the least amount of health takes 1 curse, and again, as you keep getting more, they're going to flip over and get worse. If you ever have 7 of these, you are going to lose the game. Again, and that is as a result of the pollution tracker going up. If you are unable to clear that, you have to draw from this pile right here. Okay, so after that, after you resolve your meter effects, then you're going to draw the mutation card right here. So this is going to tell you what kind of sheep are going to be mutated. So this is a steel wool. It will tell you the weakness that it has and the immunity. So if you use any weapons with this symbol on it, it is going to be immune to it. And then it's going to let you know what the sheep damage and health that the lesser sheep have, the regular sheep, and of course the greater sheep. And as they get stronger as they go higher. And of course, they are going to have a special ability. So the steel wool only moves 1 less space. And again, you have a variety of different sheep here. You have here sanguine, horned up, shifty, jumbo, magma ram, fluffy, void. There are many different types of sheep that are going to be attacking you. Okay, so let's just say we had the steel wool out here. Now, let's say we had some sheep right here. What you can do is you cannot move during the night unless you spend 1 of your lanterns here. So if you want to spend the lantern to move a space away, you may do that. Of course, you can use your card abilities and your traits, and then of course you're going to combat the sheep. Now you have all these. Right now I only have 3 cards in hand. If I want to use the shears, that is just going to do 1 damage. If I was going to use an item with a weakness, it's going to deal 1 more damage. And of course you could always spend a lantern to deal an additional damage to the sheep. Again, anytime you kill a sheep, you're going to collect essence from the sheep that you killed, depending on which one it is. Again, the book will state if the lesser sheep, whether it's a lesser sheep, regular sheep, or a greater sheep, depending on which one it is, you're going to collect a certain amount of essence. You cannot have more than 5 in your supply. Another thing that you can do is prevent these sheep from targeting the caravan. So you can actually spend the lantern and have the sheep target you instead, and you're going to get cursed. Now, as you keep getting hit, after the 4th hit, you're going to take a curse card, which is this. Now, you cannot get rid of these. So right now, my hand limit is only 3. If I were a level 2, it would be 4. If I was a level 3, it would be 5. If you were to ever have a handful of curse cards, you will die. But these curse cards are also good, as they can give you special abilities. But you have to be mindful not to have too many of them. And of course, they give you a weakness ability as well. They are all assortment of different curses and all with their special abilities. Again, they are good cards to have, but too many will kill you. And of course, like I said, you cannot get rid of them, so they're going to take up your equipment deck. So that is how a round is going to work. Now, The goal, like I said before, the goal of the game is to have each caravan make it to the end. If by any chance all players are dead and the last caravan happens to make it towards the end, you are going to win the game regardless. So the last thing I forgot to bring up was, how do these sheep spawn? So you have this deck right here. You're going to draw this flock card, and depending on the player count, it's going to tell you what kind of sheep are going to spawn. So you're going to have 3 lesser sheep spawn in the circle area here. You're going to have 2 mild sheep, these gray ones, spawn in the circle right here. And of course 1 regular and 1 lesser in this circle. So these things are going to, after that, they are going to be moving closer to the closest caravan and attack it. That is essentially the game. As you can see, it's not that complicated. It's pretty quick to learn. The rulebook was very well done. Okay, so that is the sheep. My first impressions is, this is one of the hardest cooperative games I have ever played. It is one of those type of games that it just keeps kicking at you when you're down, and you really have to work together, because you have 4 players, you have 5 caravans. You have to know which ones you're going to defend, because you are going to get overloaded with all these different type of sheep attacking you. So like I said, you really want to defend those caravans and try to take the damage, and of course get these curse cards. You're going to get these curse cards. You're going to need these curse cards in order to win, but at the same time you are working on defending the caravan and also trying to upgrade your character so you can hold more cards in your hand, because the more cards you could hold, obviously the more curses that you can hold. And like I said, this is a game about sacrifice as well. As long as those caravans make it to the end, you're going to win the game. There's a very good chance 1 or 2 people are going to die, and possibly all, in this game. It is that difficult. And like I said, there are a bunch of little things that you have to watch out for. Also, do I cull these sheep? Do I want to get rid of these sheep now, or worry about them later on? Again, these greater sheep are really powerful. They're very strong. If you have a bunch of them, they are going to cause you a lot of problems. But the game is very fun. Now, as I said, this is a prototype, but this is possibly one of the best prototypes I have ever seen. The game looks almost done. The board looks great. All these cardboard pieces are great. They're standees for now. I'm pretty sure that'll change in the future, depending on stretch goals. But this is a really fun cooperative game. It is, and if you're looking for something that is challenging and tough, I think this is going to be right up your alley. Now, it is a horror theme, but it's got that a little bit of comedic effect to it too. I mean, it's mutated sheep. I mean, how can anyone take that seriously? Again, some of these were pretty funny too, like legs of lambs. There was another one here that we saw, skeep, band sheep. I thought it was kind of funny too. But again, it is a comedic horror game if you look if you want to look at it that way. So thematically, we did have a lot of fun with it. We kind of, we thought it was kind of funny as well. But the most important thing is that this game was fun. It is a game that you are not going to win your first time around. And you really have to work cooperatively on how you are going to manage saving these caravans. Again, you have to take that damage yourself, and you have to purchase those equipments from. You don't want to get stuck with your basic equipment, except maybe each character is going to have a special card. Like this is the Miles character, they're going to have the skewer, and you really have to just figure out and plan ahead. This game is about planning ahead because of the way these cards randomly come out. Again, like I said, there is randomness in the way the sheep spawn, but I think that just adds to the tenseness of the game. So my overall impressions are very positive. I want to thank Zero Strategy Games, Jeremy Stark, for sending me this prototype copy. We had a lot of fun with it. I'm going to post a link to the Kickstarter in the description section. If you have any questions, feel free to ask me in the comment section. So yeah, overall impression is very good with this. One of the toughest cooperative games I have ever played. And I have been playing a lot of cooperative games lately. I think this ranks in top 3 hardest games I have ever played. So that's gonna do it. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Please like and subscribe. Have a great day, guys.